Hi, I'm Gary West for NCTV 45, and this is Focus NC. My guest today is Larry Corvey, and Larry is the president of the Lawrence County Chamber of Commerce. He's also the executive director of New Visions, which is an affiliation of the Stand Up for Newcastle organization. Larry, welcome to the program.
Good to be here. Thank you for the invite. We appreciate it.
Oh, we got so much to cover in this interview. Where to begin? But before we talk about New Visions and the Chamber a little bit, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, I grew up about just over an hour from Newcastle in Steubenville, Ohio area, and started my professional career in journalism in Greensburg, starting at the Greensburg paper, and worked there for a number of years. And had been in journalism in the news business for about 40 years or so. Had an opportunity to come back to Pennsylvania. We lived out in the Midwest for a while. And the Newcastle was in the company that I worked for, and there was an opening here. So a few years back, my wife and I decided to make that move. She's from the Cleveland area. So returning to Newcastle is kind of like coming home for us. It's a good location, and we're very familiar with the culture, with the people. The Steubenville area is very similar to Newcastle. It's kind of on the western tier of, if you will, outlying cities that lie around Pittsburgh itself. It's still producing town, very similar culture, a lot of ethnicity there too and such. So this was a good move for us. And right now we live in Neshannock. And when we moved back to Pennsylvania, we said that we would retire here. So we have a few more years to go before full retirement, but that's our plans, is to settle here and in retirement.
Now, you said you worked for the Newcastle newspaper. How long were you there?
I was there from 2010 through 2013, and I left there last spring, and had a few months downtime, and as things turned out, I was on the board with New Visions, and they were looking for an executive director. And so a few of the board members and I talked, and they said, "Oh, you might be a good candidate for that." So that's how I ended up as executive director with New Visions.
Yeah, you said you and your wife are both from Ohio originally. Right. So you Cleveland or Pittsburgh Steelers fan?
Oh, well, always Pittsburgh.
Right answer.
Steubenville is in eastern Ohio, but it's really, like I said, almost a far western suburb of Pittsburgh. We grew up going to Steeler games, to Pirate games. Bill Mazeroski was from the neighboring town just north of us in Ohio. Matter of fact, he still has a restaurant in the hometown where I grew up, which is in eastern Ohio. So we were always Pittsburgh fans and such. And a lot of people in that area go to Pittsburgh for a number of reasons, besides sports and entertainment. They go there, for instance, for health care, for shopping, and that type of thing. So, yeah, even though my wife's from Cleveland, we're Steelers fans.
Now, New Visions, we're going to talk about and focus on that in just a few seconds. But briefly, because you're with the Chamber of Commerce of Lawrence County, just tell us a little bit about what the Chamber does. Most people know the surfacey aspects of the Chamber, but maybe you can highlight a few other aspects.
Well, what I see the Chamber doing is trying to provide the right business environment for the county. Working with legislators, working with local government, city, county, that type of thing. Working to make sure that there's a good economic environment locally for the businesses. The other thing I see the Chamber doing is serving as a networking source. So, we have all these businesses, and I think the Chamber probably has 600 or 700 members. But how do they get together? If you're a shop owner, if you run a business or manufacturing plant, you go to work and you come home. Well, how do you interact with other peers in your business? Well, the Chamber provides a number of activities and events so you can do that. And you learn at those networking events, you borrow ideas. So there's a lot of value into the networking that the Chamber does. One unique thing that the local Chamber is working on right now, Gary, is looking at regional chamber, looking at becoming a regional chamber with the Shenango Valley Chamber of Commerce. Again, that is kind of happening in the Chamber of Commerce business, if you will. It makes sense for us to look at that because we'd be more powerful as a bigger organization. In the last few years, Lawrence County has lost some legislative
The redistricting.
impact in Harrisburg. And so again, if we're part of a larger group with the Shenango Valley Chamber, we'd be bringing more to the table, so to speak. So that process is going forward. And again, that would be a huge benefit, I think, to chamber membership. And down the road, there's also discussion of, once we get our act together here with Mercer County, possibly reaching out to the 3 counties in eastern Ohio that have a regional chamber there already. That's a few years down the road.
Now, I know you keep in contact with the business community, but how do you keep in contact with the general public?
Well, let me ask for clarification. Are you asking just in general for the job that I have with New Visions, or are you asking about with the chamber?
Well, I'm specifically asking about the chamber. How do you let the public know what the chamber is doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis?
Yeah. Well, the chamber has newsletters, obviously, which gets out information. That comes out once a month. It's pretty comprehensive. It outlines what's going on in the past month, what's coming up. They do frequent emailings to their membership about happenings. They don't wait till the end of the month just to do a newsletter, so there's frequent communication. And again, through the events, every event that they have, there's usually an idea of what the chamber is up to and what's going on. So I would say those are probably the main ways that the chamber gets the word out. And they use local press, too.
I want to move on to New Visions.
Sure.
We want to focus on New Visions, and you are as I said, the executive director. Were you appointed the executive director in 2013?
In October 2013, yeah. And it's been, I think, a good transition. I had a lot of background since I was involved with New Visions when it first started. So becoming executive director, I had all that institutional knowledge, if you will, where the organization had been and such. So,
what is the genesis, or was the genesis of New Visions?
Well, it's interesting. It started about 3 years ago. We started as a kind of a think tank group, and a few of us, were getting together to just talk on maybe every other week basis, over coffee, over lunch, about how things are going. Is Lawrence County moving ahead? Are we going the other way? And the consensus was that we weren't moving ahead as fast as we should, and maybe in some cases we were slipping behind. So we had a few more meetings and asked a few more people to join up, and they were thinking the same thing.